whoever needs to hear the message is here. And your time is here. So know that. Sometimes we get so bummed out because, there's only a few of us here. But you know what? It's like everybody who's supposed to be here is here. So here we go. So santosa means acting with modesty. It also means being content with what you have. Now, if you're like me, my mom used to always tell me when I was little, I'd say, Mommy, I want this, and she'd say, be happy with what you have. So in my mind, I thought she was telling me, you can't want more. You should not want more. Anybody ever feel that?
That's what I feel reading it.
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what happens is that that's not what it's about. What it's about is knowing what you have, being content with what you have, and knowing that from where you are, you will be somewhere else. In other words, it's okay to want more, but you can't want more until you know what you have, right? I mean, it's kind of like going shopping. You can't say, I need a red dress if you don't know whether or not you have a red dress in your closet, right? Right? So what it means is be content with what you have now and be faithful with what you're going to get in the future, which is why when we stand here and we say, I'm thankful for everything I have, for all that I am, and all that I'm about to become. So that doesn't mean that you can't want more. How many of us want more in life? Want more money, want more stature, want more whatever it is. Do you want more? And do you sometimes feel bad when you want more? You sort of feel bad because, it's like I remember my grandparents used to say, oh my God, you've got to eat all that food because the children are starving in Africa, right? And for a while that worked, but then it was like one day I woke up and said, really? If I eat all my food, that's going to make some kid over there not starve? And it was like, really? Seriously? Are you serious? So what happens is we hook into those perceptions that are not true. And we should never, that's a big guilt trip. We should never be guilted, or we should never guilt our children into eating because it creates bad eating habits, first of all. Right? And then, so you have to be real careful. So what it means is that you have to be in acceptance from where you are. Know that you want something better in your life, but now I know where I am, so I can really look and see this is where I want to go. I want to be able to have, and it's okay to want more money. And it's okay to want a money amount. It's okay to say, I want to be making $50,000, $60,000 a year. It's okay to want that. Because we're always told too, I remember going to church and I remember the priest saying, bad people have money. And you can't have money and be spiritual. And it was like, oh, wow. And, and God loves the poor people and the poor people. So in my mind, I thought I needed to be poor, right? And many people out there are being pushed down by religion. Now, here's a side. I really believe that a religion oppresses a people, right? This is me. Because religion actually comes from a human, right? Spirituality comes from above. And if you really are spiritual, then you really care about everybody. Instead of standing there and listening to some guy say, you got to do this, you got to do this, and you got to donate over here, and you got to donate over here, and you got to tithe there. Yes, you've got to tithe. But what if you don't have the money to tithe, right? So you tithe with your time. But do they tell you that? Right? So you can tithe with your time, you can volunteer. That's just as good. That's just as good, right? So be acceptance where you are and then say, okay, this is where I want to be, and now you take an action to walk toward that goal. But you can't set a goal until you are content and knowing, okay, it's okay that I'm right here. Same thing in our asana practice, right? If you're right here, you're like, okay. And if you're fighting against it, what's going to happen is you're going to pull up, right? But if you just say, okay, this is where I am, but I want to get to the toes, and then you begin to breathe, you go all the way down, and before you know it, by practicing every day, you're at your toes. That's why it's so beautiful. See the synergy and the connection between our asana and life? So that's the thing. We need to, but when you take the action, now let me be very specific with this. When you take the action in consideration of others. In other words, act with ahimsa. This is a new changing, we're changing the paradigm. This is not about me anymore. The reason that there is no jobs, really, I truly believe, is because we're going through a major global change. Where it used to be me at the top and only me at the top, and now it's not becoming that. We're now creating networks. We're now having to learn to work in teams. We're now having to learn that if I help you, inevitably I will help myself. And so that's what's changing. So you take steps to get to your goal by focusing on how you're going to help other people, right? On how you're going to help other people. And before you know it, you're so busy helping other people that boom, 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 the money's coming in, and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it because you're doing what you love, right? We all love to help people, regardless of what way it is. We all love to help people, right? So when we are doing that, we are acting with ahimsa, right? So you have to be careful with when you decide that you're going to go. Now you have to be aware of where you are in life, and you have to say, I am setting a committed intention. Right? I'm setting a committed intention. Instead of saying I want to do something, you say I am setting a committed intention. Why would I say that? Why do you think I'm telling you to say a committed intention? Why do you think that? Noelle?
So I would stick to it.
Right. When you are committed to something, there's a stick-to-itness that will keep you going. Right? It'll keep you going. And so that's what happens. Let me give you another example of why it's important for you to make a commitment and stick to it. And you may have ups and downs, but you stick to it. Right? Last night I was teaching nutritional science at the university, and a young man knew that I was creating this business, and he came to me and he said, well, I'm in another network. He said, but my leader and the people that brought me into this network fell out. He says, I'm looking for a leader to help me develop, and I'm looking for a leader to lead me, and I'm looking for a leader, and he says, and I'm very taken by you. I would love to sit and have coffee with you and see if we can do something. So he was looking for something because the person that committed is no longer there, and that's how we are as human beings. So if you make a commitment, follow through with it. Follow through with it, right? I'm the type of person where if I make a commitment to you, to anything, I will do it until it succeeds. I will do it until it succeeds. And the beauty and the honor and the uncanniness that I have is that everything that I touch in every person's life that I touch turns to gold, and I'm very blessed by having that, right? But we have to take that big step. You have to take the initial step to make your life better. You have to get out of your comfort zone. Right here's my comfort zone, right? As long as I'm right here, I'm okay. And then I come over here, get real close, and then it gets like too scary. Now I'm going to come back here. And that's what happens with our yoga. And the asana that's perfect about this is your headstand, right? Some people will get into the headstand, start to do really good, and then all of a sudden they freak out, and boom, they fall. And that's exactly what happens with life. And some people won't face that fear, right? Won't face that fear. You have fears, and fears are our determining factor. They are our compass. And I'll be honest with you,